again, everybody. Welcome to another week of Davidson College basketball with the head coach of the Wildcats, Bob McKillop. And it's all brought to you by Ortho Carolina. What a nice week for the Wildcats, Coach. A tremendous win at home over LaSalle. Then you went on the road, which is never easy in conference, and took care of George Washington.
Our backs were against the wall after Richmond handled us last Sunday. And being able to come back from that and play as well as we did against LaSalle, then go on the road and do the same thing against George Washington has really given me a boost of confidence and given our players that same boost of confidence.
When you looked at the tape of the LaSalle game, a great start for Davidson. You get out on front 13-0. What did you see about the tape that really stood out as positive things?
Well, our ability to pass the ball and space them and make great decisions relative to shooting the ball, dribbling the ball, passing the ball. Sometimes we've not been as disciplined as we need to be in the decision-making process, and I thought our decisions were superb.
I thought in the LaSalle game, Coach, that your defense is what broke the game open early.
We certainly created some scoring opportunities from our defense, and when you get those scoring opportunities from defense, it usually gives you easy shots. Easy shots gives you some momentum and makes those second and third shooting opportunities in the regular half-court flow much easier. You know, it's like the pitcher that has a team that hits home runs and he's got a 7-0 lead. Well, it's a little bit easier to pitch with a 7-0 lead than entering the ninth inning with a 1-0 lead.
No question about it. Your zone defense has been really good for you this year, but you also throw a lot of man at people. As you study those two defenses, what do you consider Davidson's go-to defense?
Well, I'm thrilled with the subtle changes and adjustments we're making with our zone. We're being led by our assistant coaches who they pick it apart with a fine-tooth comb as we review video and say we can do this, we can do that, and they're able to communicate that to our guys in practice sessions and then translate it into performance on the court. So I'm very pleased with the way the zone is developing. Man-to-man has gotten better and better as we've learned to play position defense in the gaps, cutting the court in half. I think our best defense is basically dependent upon what the best offense that we're facing is. So we're going to adjust based upon who the opponent is.
Coach, one of the things that I watched Davidson basketball all these years under your coaching, when you're at your best, you really move the ball from one side of the court to the other side of the court. Why is that important in attacking a defense?
Because now you're making a defensive player move. It's like moving chess pieces. And we add the other aspect to it of throwing the ball inside out. So when you deflate the defense by throwing inside out, when you shift the defense by going side to side, you are making teams positioned to close out. And when you close out defensively, that's usually when mistakes occur.
The Wildcats went up to Washington, D.C. on last Saturday, took on George Washington. Coach, you got great balanced scoring and a big win in the A-10 on the road.
You know, what's interesting about that game was it was 23-23 with about 4 minutes to go in the first half. They were slugging away at us. We were slugging away at them. It was a heavyweight bout, and both fighters are going after each other. And then all of a sudden we landed a couple of blows and go into the locker room with a couple of big blows. Keyshawn makes a terrific three at the end of the regulation and halftime, and that just put us over the double-digit mark and gave us tremendous momentum as we came out and shot a layup on the first possession of the second half. And all of a sudden, it just took off from there, and our confidence developed, and they kind of reacted to being down by double digits, and they started slowing some things down. And as a result, we got some defensive stops, got out into transition. But, again, the bottom line was we made shots.
Coach mentioned Keyshawn Pritchett as being a guy that made some big plays in that George Washington victory for the Wildcats. And when we come back on the Bob McKillop Show, we're going to meet Davidson sophomore Keyshawn Pritchett.
When my husband fell and landed on his shoulder, The pain was immediate, and my worry was too. He needed to see the right doctor right away. After searching for a doctor that specializes in injuries like my husband's, with hours that are convenient for nights and weekends, we chose the urgent care at Ortho Carolina. I know I made the right decision by taking him to the right place. Ortho Carolina, keeping you close to the things you love.
Hey Wildcat fans! When it comes to game day, it's all about the food. And Harris Teeter has everything you need. Delicious subs and wraps, fresh hot store-made pizza, crowd-pleasing party platters, or ready-to-serve wing trays, just to name a few. Firing up the grill? Harris Teeter Reserve Angus Beef will be the superstar of your game day meal. We guarantee it. Stop in your Harris Teeter for great savings on game day foods, or download the HT app to order ahead. Harris Teeter, where Wildcat fans shop for groceries.
Welcome back, everybody. Coach Bob McKillop of the Wildcats with you today. I'm John Kilgo. Coach, you've talked about Keyshawn Pritchett and bragged on his passing this year. Tell us a little bit about the way he's developed as a player.
Keyshawn is a joy to coach, and knowing what his athleticism was and knowing his quickness prior to the surgeries had excited me about what kind of player he could become. Well, here's a guy who's had to relearn how to play the game because he doesn't have the same explosion that he once had. And it's been a process that he's just gotten better and better at. I watched the Super Bowl and magnificent performances by the quarterbacks, both Foles and Brady, and the narrow windows of opportunity that they had to throw the ball, yet they somehow found the ability to get it through that window. That's the way Keyshawn passes the ball. He has got what we call a quick window release. He sees that guy open, and boy, it is there in a heartbeat. His size, his vision, his wrist snap, all put that ball on the money. That's why he's so lethal as a passer. But the last two games, he's 6 for 6 from 3. So you can't leave him open. And his ability to use a ball screen has just gotten better and better. So here's a guy who's getting better and better in all phases of the game.
Keyshawn Pritchett, a very interesting young man. We had this opportunity to talk to him. Keyshawn Pritchett has had a great career at Davidson so far, a redshirt sophomore. Keyshawn, you do so many things on the court. What do you see as your major role as a Davidson basketball player?
I think my versatility. I think just trying to do whatever Coach McKillop asked me to do. But this year I've shot it a little bit more. I think I'm shooting well right now. But I've always been a passer, and I think that's probably my best attribute on the basketball court, being able to pass the ball. Coach
McKillop talks about Keyshawn being able to spot little tiny windows to get the ball through. When you are looking at the defense, what are you looking for to find out where to take that ball?
Our offense, we have so many cutters, and there's always a little opportunity. So I try to see the play as it's happening, and then see the little opening before I can throw it. So I usually throw passes before they're there, and sometimes it leads to turnovers. But when they get there, I think it makes for a nice assist.
I know that when we did this interview with Keyshawn, the last two games, 6 out of 6 from three-point range. How is your confidence level shooting the ball right now?
I think it's pretty high. I think the biggest thing for me, early on I was rushing shots and I wasn't shooting necessarily good shots, but now I'm taking what the defense gives me and I'm shooting open shots in rhythm with confidence.
I know also that Davidson has been pretty effective defensively, both in man and zone. Your wingspan, got some wing, what's kind of sleeve size? What is it?
38.
38. So
yes,
you
sir.
got long arms to defend with. What is your preference? to line up in a zone or a man?
I like both. I think it keeps the defense or the offense on their toes. Our zone has been pretty effective, just matching up and showing the offense like a different look. But our man has been pretty effective because we're always helping, and we've been taught to get in the gaps. And so, if someone gets beat, we're able to help that person out.
Keyshawn has overcome a lot of adversity in his athletic life. You've had several knee surgeries. Did you ever get discouraged or ever wonder if you'd be able to come back from all that?
Yes, and I like to think no, but there was a time after my third surgery in which I was very discouraged because I didn't understand why it was happening, because I've never left a basketball court because of my knee. It's always been off the court, just swelling or little things. So I was a little discouraged, but I think Chris Hageman and the strength coach and just all the guys and coach being there for me really helped me.
You've had a heck of a career. You're doing great coming back, and you seem to be gaining confidence every game, so good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Keyshawn Pritchett is our guest. He lines up Tuesday night, John Belk Arena against St. Joseph's. We'll continue with Coach McKillop right after this.
Hendrick.
The road home just got a lot more exciting. With Hendrick BMW's Road Home Sales Event, now is the best time to buy with 0% financing or make no payments for 90 days. Choose from over 900 vehicles, including our entire lineup of American-made sport activity vehicles, like the all-new BMW X3. Plus, all new BMWs come with free scheduled maintenance. Hurry to Hendrick BMW on Independence Boulevard and at the North Lake Auto Mall and HendrickBMW.com.
2,000. We're 2,000 who take shots on the national stage and then to those in need, and build education systems and bracket algorithms and drench the food deserts, flip the lectures, save the swamps, and study Blackbeard's beauty with a 3D X-ray, and biomechanics, baton mechanics, borders, bulbs, and bees, and inspire better ways, stronger people, and new ideas relentlessly. Because at Davidson College, we don't just prepare for the world, we prepare to make it better.
Tailgating is awesome, unless you spend the whole tailgate waiting on your burger. The Bojangles Big Bo Box has everything you need for a great tailgate party. And none of the cleanup.
Grab a Bojangles Big Bo Box and feed the whole group with chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Bojangles, it's Bo time.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm John Kilgo with head coach Bob McKillop of Davidson. Coach, an interesting thing was, as I broadcast your games, I see things every game coming out of timeouts. I don't know what the percentage is, but when you have the ball, you're coming out of the timeout. We score an awful lot of times. How do you go about choosing what play you want to call out of a timeout?
We base our decisions upon who's on the court defensively, what defense they're in, and who's on the court offensively. And we're able to adjust plays by putting our players in different positions, and that's a tribute to their IQ, their attention to detail, their willingness to learn. So we could have one quick hitter, but 5, 6 different looks just because we could maneuver and switch our players around from position to position. And in many cases, this results in success of a score in those situations.
I find it also demoralizing to an opponent when you come out and run something out of a timeout and it clicks to perfection.
Yeah, we did that coming out of halftime at GW, and the objective was to put Kellen in a different spot and give Kellen an opportunity to get a layup. And in order for it to work, 5 guys had to do their job. And
Right.
all 5 did, and there sure it was. Kellen shot a layup, and interestingly enough, we came back to that play later on and scored again, but did it with Keyshawn and with Kellen a third time. So we're able to take one play and maneuver it around and manipulate it around because of our players' great sense of IQ and their willingness to do details.
One of the key components of that out-of-bounds play is the guy making the pass has to be patient, doesn't he? He has to wait for things to happen.
He's like a quarterback in the pocket. And what he has to do is know when his first option is open, his second option is open, and then if both of those are shut down, he's got to stay with it and look for his third option. And in our offense, it's basically 5 quarterbacks, all with that same responsibility. But in particular, on an out-of-bounds play, it's the takeout man.
Coach, we take social media questions from our fans. Harry from Charlotte talks about Carter Collins, your freshman from Chapel Hill, wanting to know how he has developed, in what ways has he improved since the start of the year?
Interesting question, because he was used extensively in the last 2 games, and he answered the bell each time. We used him on Wednesday against LaSalle because he had 2 superb practices. Attention to detail, focus, understanding what we're trying to accomplish, and then he put it to great use at LaSalle. Well, that gives him confidence, and that gives us confidence, and that gives his teammates confidence, and sure enough, he goes into the game against George Washington and was in the right place at the right time, made a couple of great passes, outstanding 3-point shot, made both foul shots, so getting better and better and giving us more confidence and gaining more confidence.
Coach, here's one from Andy from right here in Davidson, wanting to know what your thoughts are on the potential changes to NCAA transfer rules.
It's a difficult challenge for us because we do not have the graduate transfer opportunity here because we don't have graduate school. So that's one situation that we're completely locked out of. The opportunity for a guy to go from one school to another without sitting out, I think could be really damaging to programs in the NCAA, particularly programs at the lower echelon. You see so many teams year after year after year now with the graduate transfer rule suffering the loss of a key player. Robert Morris, North Carolina, Asheville, those 2 just come to mind because I happened to see games this past weekend where transfers from those schools were playing pivotal roles for other schools. In our league, Fordham, Tommy Pecora had a tremendous team, and he lost Pascal to Villanova. He lost a guard to Connecticut, and he lost the big guy, Senkfeld, to Boise State. So 3 guys that were pivotal for Fordham are gone, that would be seniors playing this year for them. And now they're all playing at Power 5 conferences. So it's a dilemma that the NCAA must wrestle with, but understand there are 350 teams in the NCAA, not just the Power 5 conferences.
Exactly. Coach Bob McKillop talking basketball with you. We're glad to have you in the audience. Busy month for the Wildcats. We'll come back and talk about some of it right after this.
Life. It happens. And sometimes, all you can focus on is the pain. At Ortho Carolina, we want to restore you to a life without the pain. A life where the activities you pursue are no longer hindered. A life where you can freely enjoy and participate in the lives of the people closest to you. Ortho Carolina. You improve.
At Lake Norman Infinity, when it comes to supporting the Davidson Wildcats, we don't just put our money where our mouth is, we put your money back in your pocket. That's because all students, faculty, staff, and alumni receive Davidson supporter prices on any new Infinity or pre-owned vehicle. Of course, every Wildcat gets a special welcome and our first-rate customer service. So if we don't see you in the stands as we cheer on the Wildcats, we look forward to seeing you here at Lake Norman Infinity, where Wildcats are welcome.
honoring all-around excellence in men's and women's collegiate competition. Every division, every sport, the Learfield Directors Cup. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook, find us online and on Twitter. The Learfield Directors Cup.
No two people are exactly alike. We wear different clothes.
We listen to different music. We like different
food. But we all want to lead healthy lives. And if we're sick or hurt, we want expert care.
Modern miracles with kindness and compassion.
So yes, we're all different, but we're all the same.
Welcome back, everybody. Coach Bob McKillop with you talking basketball. Coach, the Wildcats were in the Southern Conference for what seems like forever. This is what now, the fourth season in the A-10?
Fourth season, John.
Fourth season in the A-10. How have you found the competition in that league, and how have the players on the Davidson team enjoyed playing in it?
The venues that we play in, the travel that we experience, the crowds that we play in front of, the TV audiences that we have access to have really elevated our visibility, have elevated the challenge, have elevated the satisfaction and joy our players have from performing as a Division I team. From the standpoint of the teams in the conference, incredible coaches, many experiences that we've faced have been against some of the best coaches in the country. And the talent level is consistent throughout the league, from top to bottom on the roster. Most teams are putting 9 or 10 guys out there that can compete at any level. So we're facing challenges on the court, challenges off the court, but both times it's given us great joy and satisfaction.
Have you found, since you've been in the league, that depth is even more important than it was at the other conference?
Clearly a major factor, because so many teams can go 8, 9 deep, but the trade-off from player number 4 and trade-off number 9, player number 9 is not that big of a difference. Whereas when we played in the Southern Conference, even with Davidson, player number 3 or 4, there was a big gap between him and player number 8 or 9. So in many cases, most teams in the A-10 can start anywhere from 5 to 8, 5 to 9 guys.
In the A-10, competition is really fun to watch. How has it affected your recruiting, if at all?
Major impact because of the visibility, because of the venues, and because of the respect that is accorded to the A-10 across the country. It's one of the highly rated conferences in the country, not a Power 5 conferences, but right there knocking on that door.
Coach Bob McKillop talking basketball with you, and the Wildcats have a busy week coming up. It starts on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. John Belk Arena, Davidson, and St. Joseph's. And also on Friday, the Wildcats travel up to Rhode Island to meet the Rams, who lead the Atlantic 10. Coach will come back, look at St. Joe's right after this.
When my husband fell and landed on his shoulder, the pain was immediate, and my worry was too. He needed to see the right doctor right away. After searching for a doctor that specializes in injuries like my husband's, with hours that are convenient for nights and weekends, we chose the urgent care at Ortho Carolina. I know I made the right decision by taking him to the right place. Ortho Carolina, keeping you close to the things you love.
When my hair gets too long, I lose my edge. But when my cut's right, I'm right. I'm back to being me. My dimples activate. My cleft chin becomes cleftier. I get a twinkle on my tooth, and I speak fluent French. Garbage, chaise lounge, mayonnaise. Au revoir!
Get in, get out, back to greatness. Download the online check-in app. Great clips. It's gonna be great.
Hey, Wildcat fans! When it comes to game day, it's all about the food. And Harris Teeter has everything you need. Delicious subs and wraps, fresh hot store-made pizza, crowd-pleasing party platters, or ready-to-serve wing trays, just to name a few. Firing up the grill? Harris Teeter Reserve Angus beef will be the superstar of your game day meal. We guarantee it. Stop in your Harris Teeter for great savings on game day foods, or download the HT app to order ahead. Harris Teeter, where Wildcat fans shop for groceries.
Hendrick. The road home just got a lot more exciting. With Hendrick BMW's Road Home Sales Event, now is the best time to buy with 0% financing or make no payments for 90 days. Choose from over 900 vehicles, including our entire lineup of American-made sport activity vehicles, like the all-new BMW X3. Plus, all new BMWs come with free scheduled maintenance. Hurry to Hendrick BMW on Independence Boulevard and at the North Lake Auto Mall and HendrickBMW.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Coach Bob McKillop with you, talking Davidson basketball and college basketball in general. But, Coach, we'll zero in right now because on Tuesday night, another A-10 game at Davidson against St. Joe's.
Coached by Phil Martelli, a dear friend and outstanding coach and even a better person, one of the classiest guys in our profession. They have been snake bit with injuries, more so than any team I've seen. This year they've lost Charles Brown and Lamar Kimball, two starters, terrific talents. Last year they have two guys got hurt that now have returned from injuries, Pierre Francesco Oliva and Shavar Newkirk. So they have been hamstrung by injuries, and it's like a plague that sits over their program. But despite that, they'll bring to Belk Arena on Tuesday night two guys that will be candidates for Player of the Year, if not the all-conference performers, in Shavar Newkirk and James Demery, and a guy that could be considered for Freshman of the Year, and a guy, Taylor Funk. So they've got some terrific players on that team right now.
In St. Joseph's great basketball tradition for many, many, many years, when they come in to Belk Arena on Tuesday night, defensively, what are you going to see from them?
They played a game against LaSalle on Saturday in which they played 40 minutes of zone, 2-3 zone. Up to that point, they had not played long durations of zone, but they'll mix zone and man. There'll be some pressure on the ball. They'll extend the court occasionally. They'll switch on the baseline man or zone. So you're going to see a coach with great experience and great ability switch up his defenses. On the offensive side, they're going to be in the attack mode. They are aggressive. They're always attacking. They have 5 guys that could shoot. They have 5 guys who can handle. They'll have 5 guys who will attack. So you're going to see a wide open game. They're going to put points on the board.
And after St. Joe's, you can come watch that game. There are tickets available at Belk Arena to see Davidson and St. Joe's. And Wildcats will go up to Rhode Island on Friday to take on the Rams. And, Coach, I know you're worried about one game, St. Joe's, period.
That's the complete focus of our team, the complete focus of our staff. Get ready for practice, prepare ourselves as best as we can for St. Joseph's, because that's the only thing we can control right now.
Good luck in the games this week, Coach.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Coach McKillop of the Wildcats returns right here next week.